The small town of Willow Creek was never the same after the night the children disappeared. It was Halloween, and the streets were filled with costumed trick-or-treaters, their laughter and shouts of excitement echoing through the crisp autumn air. But as the night wore on, a sense of unease settled over the town. At first, it was just a few children who went missing. Their parents thought they must have wandered off with friends or gotten lost in the crowds. But as the hours passed, more and more children vanished until the streets were empty and silent. The townspeople searched frantically, but there was no sign of the missing children. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. As the night wore on, strange things began to happen. Pumpkins on doorsteps began to glow with an eerie light, and the wind picked up, carrying the faint sound of children's laughter. But it wasn't the happy, carefree laughter of earlier that day. This was a cold, mirthless sound, like the mocking taunts of malevolent spirits. People began to whisper about an ancient curse, one that was said to awaken on Halloween night. They spoke of a dark entity, one that fed on the fear and terror of the living. And as the night wore on, the entity grew stronger, its presence palpable in the air. One by one, the townspeople began to disappear, until only one person was left. A young woman, alone and frightened, she wandered the empty streets, searching for any sign of the missing. But there was nothing. Only the pumpkins, glowing with an otherworldly light, and the wind, carrying the sound of children's laughter, seemed to mock her. And then she heard it. A low, menacing chuckle, like the sound of 1,000 Halloweens past and present. The entity had come for her, and she knew she was doomed. The next morning, the town was quiet and still, the pumpkins extinguished, the wind gone. But the legend of the Halloween curse lived on, passed down from generation to generation, a cautionary tale about the horrors that lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike on the one night of the year when the veil between worlds was at its thinnest.